Hello everybody, welcome back. It's JudiciousFire, and we are looking at one of the hardest game modes in Castle Clash, and that is Lonely C2. The iOS update just came yesterday. This is our very first attempt at Lonely C2. If you're having any kind of difficulties, we can take a look at the team we used and our setup that comes right after the gameplay. I want to point out a couple of things that might be helpful. Also, I want to state right off the bat here that if you are running Lonely C2 and doing it successfully and having a 90% or higher win rate, then it is going to require heroes that are pretty much maxed out. Even if you go the route of a ice demon, it's not going to be a level 1 ice demon you're using. So you've got to have heroes that are able to withstand punishment and also dish out punishment. Running this with some of the guildies, I want to first begin by saying in Lonely C1, we were starting at the top of the screen, top group of archdemons. And we had a near perfect win rate when all of us, worked together and did our setups correctly. But on this one, our very first attempt on Lonely C2, Enigma, one of the top players here on iOS, started us off in the center, and I think that is the absolutely best way to go. What you are doing is you are doing the biggest damage to the guys who are the toughest to beat, the ones right up in the center there. And as you're doing that, somebody like a Zeph is doing damage globally to all of the other archdemons around. It really is beneficial to the team in terms of your time and already doing damage to everybody around the corners if you start in the center. And you see that that's what we do this each and every time. I think in this one I take a look at everyone's team. I'll go into more detail towards the end of the video. By the way, I am doing just a voiceover on this, and if the video itself, in terms of its image, appears to be a little wonky, a little strange, it's because I play primarily on an iPad. The phone I find to be a little bit too small. This was, real gameplay, and we took time to set things up. So I was on my iPad. You're seeing a recording of a 4:3 image that is being processed into 16:9 for presentation in YouTube. And this is also why I'm not in the video, waving, saying, "Hey, what's up?" So you see, we had a win on attempt number 1, and got all those level 9 talent runes as a first win bonus. And you see now, the heroes are doing a great job staying alive. By starting in the center, even when we break up into smaller groups, it seems to only help us, really. We do have a Triantar, of course, and he is very beneficial. We got a Laz in there, and the heroes themselves are, if not high-level talent, certainly high-level breakthrough. I don't think it's necessary to have level 10 talents in order to be successful. What is necessary is to have the right set of talent and insignias paired up, the right pets, the right heroes, the right formation in the form screen mode where you are forming your initial team, and also the right formation on the board. And you see, second run's another win after that. See how many cards I have left. I did today, this morning, it's the first day of the new update, I did the Hero Exchange event and reaped the benefits of all of those cards by, I think it was a Phantom King and a Succubus. So I spent quite a little bit of time taking up my Phantom King and Succubus. I think you had to take them to... you didn't even have to evolve them, but you had to take them up in level. And you see the crew here, the 4 of us so far going undefeated. Now watch this. You see Trixie Treat, my first hero to die, Trixie Treat. Now she was brought back to life by Triantar, but then killed immediately again. And That was, I believe, the only time during these runs that we performed where I actually lost a hero. Um, we found that Lonely C1, when it first was introduced, was something very new. And it took a couple of days of trial and error and discussion. And it took probably, it could take a half hour of coordination and setup time to get it all right. But then we got into a groove and we had a really, really nice success rate, farming it, if you will. I think that Lonely Sea 2, I think it's equally as difficult in terms of the monsters that you're facing. But our knowledge from Lonely Sea 1 makes it a lot easier. To be able to put these teams together, it took us about 15 minutes of discussion. We had already an album that was created in our guild archive, and we'll see that right after these battles. And he just said, "I'm team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4." Everybody went to lineup, came back, built their team. We started running it, and we are win after win. Do you see the clock on that? It was down to the very last second. And I believe each of the runs that continue from this period forward are going to be winning runs. Winning runs that don't involve the death of a hero. So, Trixie went out. And you could always try a revive on Trixie, but it's going to severely impact her ability to do APS, attacks per second. So this is something I'm trying to say a little bit more in videos. I often use the words attack and damage in the same sense, and they really are quite different. Attack is the damage that you can cause to the enemy, and damage is going to be the actual pain in terms of number that is inflicted upon the enemy. DPS, damage per second. Uh, most of the most of the enemies that we fight in those kinds of modes have a damage cap. Here, 80,000, like the ones in front of us. So damage per second is going to be, 80,000. Or if you can attack 4 times per second, then it's going to be 80 times 4. It really, you have to look at it, I think, more specifically in terms of attacks per second. Basically, all of our heroes are going to hit max damage against these guys, hit 80,000, just by patting them on the shoulder and not even hitting them. So really, you're after the heroes that can pat them on the shoulder the most number of times. Okay, attacks per second. Who can attack at the highest rate? And it's still the old schoolers. It's still Gunslinger, Trixie Treat. This is made possible by our friend Pumpkin Duke. And Zephyrica, in terms of if he's fighting one enemy, he does not rank, too high, a little more than average in terms of APS, attacks per second. But if there are multiple enemies on the board, his ability to hit each and every one of them, or 5, 6 of them, however many are in his particular skill description at that time, his ability to do that really does increase his attacks per second. So he's hitting, you can see on the left side, the 60,000 damages that are happening to those archdemons, the 60s and 80s. We're not even directly attacking, not until they engaged us where we were directly attacking. Another great thing about starting in the center. We were able to clear out the really, really tough guys in the center, the ones I think that have the highest health pool. And by the time we get to the ones in the corner, the 4 corners, they are already severely damaged. And we come up with another win. Okay, here's what we get. Here are the rewards. Boom, I got 3 hotshot soulstones. More books, more breakthrough. More books, more breakthrough. More books, more breakthrough. Okay, here's team 1. And it's got to be same heroes. If you want to run this particular setup, same heroes, same formation in the form screen, look where they're all located. Here it's the same team except now Laz. Here it's approximately the same team except now Tree. And here it is, basically a copy of Team 1. We're looking for APS. Here's all the individual heroes and how they're set up. I don't think level 10 talents are necessary. But the pet allocation and the choice of talent is going to be absolutely integral to success. There are other ways to run Lonely C2. You can do it with the the ice demon method. It helps to slow everybody down and really get them susceptible to you beating on them in terms of APS. That's really going to help. You can run they call it the free-to-play version. There was always a couple of those. And free-to-play is, pretty much maxed out heroes. It's just you don't have a Zeph or a Lava. But instead, you'd have like a Beast Tamer instead of a Zeph. Maybe a Laz on each team. Just the teams again. All right, thanks, everybody. Good luck in Lonely C2. I'll see you. Bye-bye.